Welcome to the service clinic at Low Country Harley-Davidson. I'm Doc Harley. I'm working on a 2019 Sport Glide. I'm replacing the wonderful plastic manifold with the aluminum for durability and more performance, and I'm going to bring it out to the dyno and make sure everything's running all right. But this guy brought up a subject that you guys have been asking me for a long time, and I didn't really want to address it, but this guy has modified his air cleaner because of the question, Doc, what do you think about the air breathers on a Milwaukee 8 twin cam, Sportster and all that, breathing into the throttle manifold? What do I think about it? I think it's a very inexpensive way to control EPA for Harley-Davidson. Is it good for your motor? I have to say no, all right? I have accepted it and ran with it because it's just the way Harleys are made. But when I saw this guy on his air cleaner, Screaming Eagle air cleaner, looks good from the outside. I take off the air filter and I look inside and I went, whoa, I love how creative this guy has gotten. He took the stock mounting bolts, which he still uses, got two more from his friends, drilled holes. Now this is where you have to be careful. He drilled holes but made sure the holes were outside of the throttle body. Okay, so he drilled the holes, put the stock breathers in, put a nut on it, and then trimmed the outside of the nut so he could throw on small little tubes, and the small little tubes come down below this and go on the other side down near the primary. Genius, simple, and you still are using a Harley-Davidson product, a Screaming Eagle product. I thought this was neat, and I started looking on YouTube, and there are a lot of other guys that have done some fantastic brainstorming to make an air cleaner breathe not into the throttle body, but outside of it. Now, I'm not a big fan of dumping it onto the ground. That's the old shovelhead days, and I don't want to mark my spot. So I'm going to get a catch can and catch it. And there are several catch cans out there. You can look at Jegs Auto and look at catch cans for antifreeze or for race cars. Star Racing offers a catch can if you're into Milwaukee 8s and need a place to put it. But this is ingenious. So I started thinking for my own. I'm doing a little work on my own motorcycle. And when I looked inside and I saw this, I said, yeah, I got to stop. All right, the oil deposits on this piston that really has not run that long, and I'm a pretty good tuner, so I looked at mine. Now, I have a 58 millimeter throttle with a Screaming Eagle air cleaner. And I said, okay, how can I do this? Well, I went to my local Home Depot and got me some fittings, 1/8 to 1/4 fittings, and then I got a T-fitting because I just want to run a single. So what I did was hooked up my throttle body to the air cleaner, and I looked straight down to miss the throttle body. And then I made my mark, and I drilled, and I tapped with a pipe thread, and I put two fittings, one on each side. And then I brought the hose, and I put a T-fitting. Now, yeah, you can see it's canted. Well, that's because when it's on the motorcycle, I want the hose to go between the front pushrod tubes and then down to the front to the catch can. But it's taken a Screaming Eagle air cleaner, modifying it. Now, yeah, now you're asking the question, well, Doc, you still got this and you still got your breather holes. All right, so this is where I went a little bit off south. A 10, 28, or 24 set screw goes right through. All right, so what's the next size? 1224. 1224 cuts the threads, don't even have to drill. Now, the next size up is quarter. That's taking some pretty big meat out of this air cleaner. So I tapped it, 1224, nice and easy. Then I went to my local hardware stores, all of them. Couldn't find a 1224 set screw. Yeah, I had to jump on the internet and looked all over. Found that Fastenal has 1224 set screws. So they're coming in on Wednesday. I'm going to put red Loctite and I'm going to put them down about 1/4 of an inch down inside there. And I can hear you already. Doc, why'd you do it that way? Why didn't you just put some silicone on here or some JB Weld and stick it up? It's because in my career, I had a customer who had an S&S carburetor and didn't Loctite his 3 inner screws. One came out, found it inside between the piston and the head. When you're working on a motorcycle and you're modifying it, especially the air cleaner, you got to ask yourself, what if? What if something comes loose? What if something, goes? So if I just put something here and stuck it in, and what if it didn't cure? That means when I'm wide open, 6 grand, third gear, giving it all, I got a lot of vacuum. I got a lot of suction here. Something pops out, goes in, and it's ruined my day and my pocketbooks. So I'm doing something that is solid, set screw, and I didn't tap all the way down. So I'm going only to where I did the threads, putting some red Loctite, let it cure for 12 to 24 hours, make sure it's solid, then I'll feel comfortable about that. I'm using my stock bolts, breather bolts to seal it, and then I'm using the tap off and putting it over to a catch can. I think it's amazing if you go on YouTube or you ask your friends, hey, how did you modify yours? When you can see a stock air cleaner from Harley-Davidson from the outside and everything looks stock, everything looks good, but inside they've mastered the idea of rerouting the breathers out of the way so it's not going in, and I am sure you'll get better air-fuel ratios and tuning without the oil trying to detonate it out. So had to kind of go on this topic because working on a customer's bike. If you got any questions or if you've got suggestions or have seen something, hey, send it to me. I'd love to see your idea of how you took a stock air cleaner. Now, you can purchase an air cleaner that already has external breathers. HPI is one of them that I've dealt with. Great product. But if you've already got an air cleaner and you want to modify it, think about it. Remember, my dad said, measure twice, cut once. Be very careful on how you modify your air cleaner or you might have to start all over again. I'm Doc Harley. We'll see you next week.